Nothing I can do about that glare is daytime. Hi everyone, it's Casey here, and today I'm gonna talk about, it might not be a review, but I'm gonna talk about City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. I have just finished this book, so my feels might be all over the place, but I feel it's the most fitting time to ever film this. I am, let me tell you, this is one of my favorite series of all time. This and The Infernal Devices, and I can officially say that Cassandra Clare is one of my favorite authors, just because she does stories so well. City of Heavenly Fire, it was just so freaking flawless. Like 5 out of 5 stars, hands down. I would give it 10 stars if I could, because it was just amazing. I will say that if you haven't finished City of Heavenly Fire and you have not read The Infernal Devices, you will get spoiled. You will get spoiled for this book and for The Infernal Devices, and I highly suggest you read The Infernal Devices before reading City of Heavenly Fire, because the feels, just the feels. So many things happen in this book because it is humongous. It's 700 and something pages long, so it's really long. It took me like 2 weeks to read it, but because I've been really busy today, and I took my time with it, and I feel like it made me stay a little longer with these characters. Something I think what characterizes this book is character development. Is the only way I can describe this book. Character development. They have all grown so much, and I'm so happy about it. Like, I am so proud of every single one of these characters. I'm just The prologue starts out with Emma Carstairs. We're introduced to Emma Carstairs, Julian Blackthorne, and the whole Blackthorne family, which are basically gonna be the main characters in TDA, which is The Dark Artifices. That is the new series Cassandra Clare has coming out next year, and I gotta say, I am pumped about the series. Like, I am so excited, I can't even. I was halfway through the prologue, and I was like, I need this book. I need it. Emma is gonna be a kick-ass main character, like seriously kick-ass. I just love her already. And well, I just love the whole Emma Julian chemistry, and I'm gonna regret. I'm so gonna regret in TDA when they become Parvati, because it's gonna be so painful. I just love them. I just love to see them together. On the first 3 pages of the prologue, I was already crying. I was already shedding tears because Cortana was mentioned. Every time they mention Cortana's legend, I would get chills, because I would think of TID and the Carstairs and my baby Gem, and oh my god, so many feelings. Like, seriously, every time there was a Infernal Devices hint or an Infernal Devices reference, I would just break down into tears, because I was like, my babies. Like, every time they mentioned Will, even if they didn't say his name, I just knew they were talking about him, so I was just like, oh my god. Or Tessa, or even Gem back then, oh my god. They even mentioned Charlotte. I was like, my babies. Like, all my tears are TID characters, and everything hurts in a good way. Another character that I really came to love in this book is Alec. Even though Alec has been in every single book of the series, I actually didn't even like Alec for the rest of the series. I kind of actually hated him after City of Lost Souls because of what he did to Magnus. So I was kind of done with Alec. And I think I've never really liked him much because he's always been a total bitch to Clary. Even though Clary can be annoying at times, Alec was just ugh. But in this book, I think we see more of his point of view, of his way of thinking, and we see we see him breaking the rules a little bit more. He's always been really careful about the law. And in this book, he just throws the law out of the window. He just doesn't care. You see how much he truly loves and cares about Magnus, and how much he loves Jace. He talks about how he respects Simon. I believe at one point he told Clary that. Also, he told Clary something like he interacted with every single character in a different way that he has in the other books. So I just came to love him. Let's see. Simon, my beautiful baby Simon. When is he gonna be able to be happy? Simon just suffers and suffers and suffers throughout this whole series. It's not even fair. And well, in this one, I think I feared for his life when he was left in New York, like when Jordan was his bodyguard, basically, that he was kidnapped. I was like, great, now they're gonna kill Simon. And then I really thought he was gonna die when they went to Edom, but he didn't, thankfully. But yeah, I did fear for his life. I did like the whole chemistry with Isabel, how he told her he loved her. And I thought he was gonna die when he offered himself to Asmodeus. I was like, holy shit, there's no way, like, no, you can't die like this. And then his memories, I cried hard. I cried really, really hard when I found out that he just couldn't remember them. And when Clary called him on the phone, I was just, But that moment, like in the end, when Clary goes to talk to him and he invites her to see his band because he has no idea who she is. She's just a pretty girl, and the band is called The Mortal Instrument. I like the sound that came out of my mouth wasn't human, and I just started weeping. I was like, oh my god, like I'm in a river of feels. It was just such a beautiful moment. I feel like Isabel has also grown a lot. We did see it in this book, but I feel like you start seeing Isabel's character growth since City of Fallen Angels. So it's more gradual, it's not sudden like it was with Alec. Then Clary. Okay. What I do feel in Cassandra Clare's stories, or in a lot of stories actually, when the main character is a female and she's really brave and courageous and stuff, they actually have no sense of self-preservation. That's what makes them brave. Now, I do love Clary, don't get me wrong. I do prefer Tessa, but Clary, I feel like she made smarter decisions this time around. I think she was really smart with trapping the heavenly fire into her sword. Don't ask me to say his name because I don't remember it. But now, I thought the way she did it was really, really clever. I actually thought she stabbed Jace with the sword in order to get the heavenly fire into the sword. I didn't know she stabbed it into the ground, and then when I found out, I was really happy about it because I was like, girl, how many times are you gonna stab your boyfriend in the chest? Like, a relationship can only stand so much. I did feel really, really bad for her when she stepped into the throne, like she actually agreed to side with Sebastian. I was like, what the hell are you doing? And I will say that those parts where Sebastian started talking about how he was gonna destroy the earth and just make everything like Edom, and we would just be like in a world of disaster and demons, and there will be no one around to save it. I started cringing inside. Like I felt so uncomfortable during those parts. Like every time he mentioned it, and when he was talking to Clary, when he was telling Clary what was gonna happen and how she was gonna rule with him, I started getting chills, but like in a bad way, and I felt so uncomfortable, and I just wanted to get past those pages really quickly because I was afraid. And I feel like the fact that this book made me feel like that, it just explains how good this story is. I mean, some people would say it's not like a lyrical masterpiece, or it's not written beautifully or whatever, and maybe the first book isn't, because let's face it, it's the first book in a 6-book series. But the way the characters have just the way the characters have grown on me, and how they have stayed with me, how much I care about them, you could say, it's what makes this series so fucking good. Like, I just care about this character so much. I care about the story, I care about the plot line, and the fact, and I like it because it makes me feel things. 3 pages in the book and I was crying. I cried so many times in this book, both like shed a few tears and like straight on sobbing, and I laughed out loud. Like, seriously, I was laughing. So I feel like that's why so many people like this series, because it's not like, oh, it's a great fantastic series, because it's sarcastic, and it's because it's funny, and it's because it's a really fun story, but it also has like the seriousness to it. Like, for example, Sebastian's obsession with Clary creeped me the fuck out. I was like, this dude is really fucked up in the head, like, you have no idea. And it made me feel sick, like actually sick. Or the fact that an author can transmit those emotions to the reader through words, like, these are just a combination of letters through words, is just amazing to me. Okay, let's address Jem Carceres. Every time Brother Zachariah came onto the picture, I was like, my baby Jem, because contrary to popular belief, I love Jem. Jem is one of my favorite characters. Like, on TID, I was really torn. I felt like Tessa, because I love Will like the nice girl does, but I love Jem so much, because he's just such a gentle soul that it's impossible not to love him. I feel like Jem doesn't get as much love as he deserves. I did think the Heavenly Fire was gonna turn him into Jem, but I thought it would take a bigger amount of Heavenly Fire. Like, I thought that scene when he got the Heavenly Fire, I thought it was gonna be like he started feeling better, or he started changing, and then they were gonna try to do it again so he could absorb more Heavenly Fire and then turn into, you know, Jem again. But, you know, it's all good. It happened. It's all good. But I do want to know why he is going by the name Zachariah right now. Like, what is it? Does he relate that name too much to Will, like, and it makes him hurt, or does he feel like that part of his life is over? Like, what's up with that? And every time he talked about the Herondale, or every time he referred or he remembered Will, I was just so, my heart grew like 100 sizes and it shattered, because I just love it so much. And when Jace came to talk to him, or they were talking, and he realized, when like Jace is telling us that Jem has a Parvati rune that is faded away. Oh my god. Oh, that moment, man, that moment just made me remember the scene, like the scene where Will feels his Parvati bond break, and like it all comes full circle, and it's just so beautiful. And I just don't know how in any circumstances people will read Stealing Holy Fire without reading TID. You need to read TID. Like, you won't, I mean, you probably will like the ending or whatever, but you won't get so many feels. I feel like this book is so good because it has so many references to TID, and that's what makes it even more awesome. Because I mean, Clockwork Princess was a flawless masterpiece. I love Clockwork Princess. I think it's my favorite Cassandra Clare book ever. But then comes this one. It has so many references to Clockwork Princess and to the whole TID series. It's just, oh my god. Can we just quickly mention Jessamine Lovelace, the guardian of the London Institute? Like, when Sebastian mentioned that he was going to attack London, I was like, holy shit. And then I kind of remembered her, but I was like, maybe it won't work. I don't know. I was like, ah, I was suffering. And then when they say like there was a force, something, so a protection that not even the Clave knew about, I started sobbing. I was sobbing, like I was sobbing so hard because I remembered, and I was like, Jessamine, you beautiful soul, I can't even. And then when Magnus was talking about it with Jocelyn, that Jocelyn like, who was she? Because he says, he just plain out tells her it's a ghost, and she was like, who is she? And he was like, you would probably recognize her name, but I don't think she will like that. I hope this means she found peace. I was done. I was like, and there were rivers streaming down my eyes. I was like, no, you're beautiful, baby. I get too emotional. It's just not good for me. Oh wait, Tessa. I was so happy to see Tessa. I thought they were just gonna keep mentioning her. I didn't expect her to actually be in a scene because I was thinking about the fact that the epilogue of Clockwork Princess takes place after the war. So I was like, she's not gonna be in this book. But then the epilogue of this book takes place 6 months after the war ended. So Tessa does comes into the picture, and she talks to Clary. And when she gave Clary the hair in their ring, so she could give it to Jace, it was just so beautiful. And the fact that it's her son's ring, it's just and I just feel like when it is time for TLH, we're just gonna remember that. Or I hope we learn how Tessa acquires her son's ring so she can give it to her. It's just a big web of things that happen, and it all comes full circle in the end. I know that everything will come full circle in the Wicked Powers. I think that's the last Shadowhunter series, and that comes after TLA, so it's a long time after that. So people, stop complaining about the fact that Cassandra Clare is writing stories in the Shadowhunter world. To me, she could write 20 series in the Shadowhunter world, and I would read every single one of them. They're just amazing, and every story is different than the other, but they all relate back to each other. And I feel like that's a really smart way of telling a story. This woman had this whole thing figured out since God knows when. So to me, she can tell all the stories she wants because I want to know them. I love this world and I don't want to get out of it. It's just so amazing. But yes, I think that's all for today. I think that's finally all I wanted to say about everything. I hope you enjoyed this. It's probably gonna be really choppy and really badly edited, but you know what? We all start somewhere. And yes, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Yeah, I think that's all for today. My social media links are below. My Goodreads is down below. I basically add everyone on Goodreads because I love Goodreads. So I will see you next time I do another video.